Today, we are back at Classic Auto Mall located in Morgantown, Pennsylvania. Take a closer look at this 1939 standard Ford. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like. Picture this. You just obtained a classic car you know nothing about. Perhaps you owned these cars back in the past and you're just here to reminisce. Either way, we feature the classics, vintage, some exotics, lots of orphan cars, and cars that tend to get lost in the shuffle. If that sounds of interest, plus a channel that you would totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. Before getting into this totally awesome 1939 Ford, let's talk about the Classic Auto Mall real quick. If you've never been, this place is absolutely epic. It's a must visit. Did you guys ever remember the Imperial Palace? This is sort of like that, but this is in a mall instead of a hotel. All of the cars, well, most of the cars are for sale. They have a great selection with over 800 cars for sale when recording this episode. This featured car is among the cars that are for sale. And for more information, pictures, and pricing, the link is in the description below if you want to check it out. All right, 1939 Ford model lineup. This was essentially broken down into two model lines, the Standard and the Deluxe. Ford would offer this generation of the Standard and Deluxe from 1937 to 1940, 1937, 38, 39, 40. Designed by E.T. Bob Gregory and design touches by none other than Henry Ford's only son, Edsel Ford. And their inspiration came from the Lincoln Zephyr. Personally, I like the Standard over the Deluxe. Which do you prefer? In the comment section below. The 1939 Ford could be had in a plethora of different body options depending on what series you went to, because to add to this confusion, there was also Series 85 and a Series 60, and basically all that meant was what engine you chose. There was two engines on offer, the 60 horsepower flathead V8 and the 85 horsepower flathead V8. So just to reiterate, there was Series 60 as well as Series 85 as well as Standard and Deluxe. Bodies on offer for the Deluxe series were the 5-window coupe, 2-door sedan, 4-door sedan, convertible coupe, convertible sedan, and wagons. For the standard model came in 5-passenger wagon, 4-door sedan, 2-door sedan, 2-door coupe. Just in case you're wondering, Series 60 with the 60 horsepower flathead V8 only came in 3 body designs. That was the 5-window coupe, 2-door sedan, 4-door sedan. 1939 was a big year for Ford. First year for the hydraulic brakes with the brake master cylinder mounted to the frame rail just underneath the driver's side floorboard and drums on all 4 wheels. But it's important to note that these cars use a single master cylinder, meaning if one brake line breaks, the brake pressure is lost, meaning loss of brakes. But there are generally 2 other ways to stop. Generally with these old cars, you had 3 ways to stop: the brakes, transmission, emergency brakes. And that is why I call it emergency brake, because that's essentially what it is. If you lose your main braking source, you can use the emergency brake and or parking brake to stop. It's important to note that the cable brakes are only on the rears generally, and you don't want to be going fast and nail the brakes if you only have them on the rear, because otherwise you're just going to do like 180s and donuts and stuff, and it won't be very safe. But I'm just here to tell you that if you lose brakes, don't panic, because generally there's 2 other ways to stop. You can use the transmission to slow down. A lot of these old cars are geared really low, and first gear is generally granny gear. So, I mean, you got that. And then when you're going slow enough, you could push in the emergency brake and that will stop you. Or what happens if you don't have an emergency brake? It's still possible to stop. Panicking is the worst thing that you can possibly do if the brakes go out. Just stay calm. You still, as long as you're not going an unbelievably fast speed, generally you're going to be okay. If you're going 50 miles an hour, it's pretty easy to slow down from 50 miles an hour. You just use the transmission to downshift. And when you get going slow enough, if you have to stop, put it in first gear. As long as you're going under 5 miles an hour, shut it off, and the transmission will eventually stop you. It will grab you and it will stop. But you should only do that in absolute emergencies. Otherwise, it might damage something. And you don't want to do it over speeds of 5 miles an hour. All right, let's talk specs. 179.5 inches long, 68.6 inches tall, 69.5 inches wide. It rides a wheelbase of 112 inches. It weighs 2,753 pounds. Price $640, which is equivalent to you spending $13,721.42 in the year 2022. Total 1939 production was 487,031 units. Moving on to engines. As mentioned earlier, 2 engines on offer starting in the basement. 136 cubic inch displacement flathead V8, 2.2 liters. It's good for 60 horsepower, 94 pound-feet of torque with a compression rating of 6.6 to 1. I wasn't able to find 0 to 60 or top speed figures for this car, or engine I should say, but the average MPG I was able to find was between 22 and 27 miles to the gallon. And a side note saying it was a good engine for the car and it was very economical. It was just considerably slow. Moving on to the second engine on offer, 221 cubic inch displacement flathead V8, 3.6 liters. It was good for 95 horsepower, 170 pound-feet of torque with a compression rating of 615 to 1. Average fuel economy was around 18 to 20 miles to the gallon. Only 1 transmission on offer, 3-speed manual sliding gear, aka 3 on the tree. All right, let's talk styling. Just notice all of the lines that are going on. Check out this line that comes off of here and down. How this chrome comes back around. Just check out these headlights. I absolutely love the styling of these headlights. I'm going to step back. Just notice how close they are together. All of the bright work that's going on inside this grille. Absolutely gorgeous design. Not sure if you can see this, but how that comes up. See how it comes to a point here in the center, but then it disappears? Absolutely love the drip rails. Notice how the drip rail doesn't stop right here. It goes the whole way back to here, right where the trunk lid opens and stops. This line gives it that indicative line of the old coach-built cars where they had that nice styling bit gas on the roof right here. The taillights. Notice there's only one, and look at how small it is. Like, there's my hand for reference. So there's only a taillight on that side. Look over here. There isn't another taillight. License plate bracket. We're gonna get in the back of the trunk. Just check out that trunk. Look at how big it is. It's absolutely huge. I could fit back there. That's insane. Coming up and getting inside. So just notice this door is all trimmed out. Look at how thick this door is. There's my fingers for reference. Very sculpted out door. Just check out this door panel. This feels like real wood, but it could be simulated. Notice there isn't an armrest. Door handle to open the door. This is the window crank for the window. Just notice how this goes down. So look, it doesn't go straight down. So when you start rolling it, it slides over this way, and then, do you see that? And then it goes down. How cool is that? Check out this interior. Coming down inside the pedal box down here. Handbrake, clutch, brake, gas. All right, getting inside. So that's what it sounds like when you shut the door. Check out this A-pillar situation. It's nice. Here's what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person looks like. Here's what under the steering wheel situation is. I wear size 34 pants. If you wore size 36, you could probably fit in here as well. 38 maybe. But what I'm getting at is if you are a little bit thicker, you might not fit in here so good. It might be a little bit snug. On to the button switches and knobs, starting on the left-hand side and moving right. Starter button. Then there are 2 gauge pods that sit directly in front of the driver. On the left pod, that has a lot of stuff going on. Oil pressure is at the top, followed by amp gauge, water temperature, fuel. The next pod houses the speedometer. Notice 100 miles an hour is the highest recordable speed that is able to be recorded by this speedometer. At the top is the odometer with trip in the center. Throttle control, choke, lighter, ashtray. Up above, sun visors. On the driver's side, here's my hand for reference. It's a pretty good sized sun visor. Nice rear view mirror there, oval shaped. This is what I look like. I got tons of headroom in this car. It's absolutely incredible. I do not feel claustrophobic in this car. I actually feel kind of at home. I love it. This interior is great. Everything about this car is great. It's perfect size. And the best thing is the roof isn't chopped off and it's not tubbed out and it's stock. These cars were gorgeous stock. Why would anybody want to ruin it like that? It's just beyond me. So this one's for the lighter. Over here is for the ashtray. Just take a quick gander at this steering wheel. It's absolute right size. It's not too thin, it's not too thick, it's perfect. And the other thing is notice it has the locking key cylinder. It actually locks the key cylinder as well as the steering wheel, and it's controlled by this. On to the glove box test. Here's our test subject. Here's my hand for reference. Here's our glove box. So look at that, it fits in there perfect. The only thing, this glove box doesn't lock, but nobody will ever know that that gigantic camera is in there because it doesn't look like it could be. Check this out. This was the last year for the crank out windshield. So it cranks out. It also has the cowl vent, which is right there. And it's controlled by this. It's controlled by this little lever here. See that lever sticking out? This controls that. And look how high it can go. It can go up pretty high. That's as high as it will go. That's the best feature they don't put in cars anymore. I absolutely miss that feature. Coming to the under the hood section. Now if you look, sometimes they have this part here that comes out, but this one doesn't work like that. This one works like this. This is the hood opener. This one's got flathead V8. Notice how far down it sits inside the engine compartment. It sits way down inside there. There's your fuse box, battery, radiator. On to the pros and cons. I'm getting all of these pros and cons from the complete book of collectible cars, Blue Chip Auto Investments, 70 years from 1930 to 2000 by Richard M. Langworth and the Auto Editors of Consumer Guide. On the positive side, superb styling, fast following and club support, good performance, fine construction quality. Against it, increasingly expensive. Open models are almost untouchable now. All right, now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to give me both the correct name of the band as well as song title will have their comment pinned to the top of the comment section. Thank you so much for coming out and watching this. I really appreciate all of the support. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below. I read and answer all comments posted, and it will always be that way. I want this to be a car community, not a car channel. Everybody and their mom has a car channel. But the community, it gives you guys the opportunity to voice your opinions in the comment section, and I read and answer all of them. I wish YouTube gave you guys the opportunity to share your ride stories and experiences. That's why we made the Facebook group to do that. If you're interested in that, the link will be in the description. So if I catch you on here or there, just know that I appreciate all of it. And until next time, toodaloo!